Welcome to the tomb of illumination, where everything's concerning the physics of our flat earth. Okay, the only site in the world that explains the whole phenomenon of the workings of the flat earth system. Now, the site's shadow banned, so it's up to you guys to get the information out, because I've explained how the sun works over our flat earth, how we get the 24-hour sun each year, twice in the Antarctic and the Arctic for 24 hours. Does not go below the horizon. And there's a lot of chatter online at the moment, something that's called the final experiment, which is killing me because it's just a big joke. I've explained the whole system and they're just ignoring me. It's just the way it is. They shadow ban all my information. They know I've got the truth, so they don't want anyone to see it. So it's up to you people to get out and share it. So I'm going to go over it with a bit more detail today. How and why the flat earth gets a sun 24 hours around the Antarctic and the Arctic. Okay? So you might want to watch this on a big screen if you want to look at try and reread the words, but we'll run over what I've written here and then I'll start showing you the model and a few other pretty pictures. So first off, we'll start off with asking the question, what has the shape of the little earth got to do with the shape of the sky over a ball? Nothing. Nothing. The space is vast. Why would it be curved or flat? You think about it. Especially when they show us, try to explain the two-star rotation system, okay, but we'll get on to that. But if the sky is part of the earth, like the flux of a magnet is of the magnet, then yes, the earth would determine the shape of the sky, the toroidal field shape of our flat earth. But only if it was like a ring magnet, flat and round, with a tropical gap clearly seen in the night sky at the celestial equator, which is what we do on our flat earth system. Specifically around December, when we see Orion's belt pass through that gap. The gap that divides the northern hemisphere non-perishable stars from the southern hemisphere star rotations that some do perish over the season. If it's a symmetrical spinning ball, why is only one hemisphere losing its stars as opposed to the other? It can only happen on the flat earth system. We'll get into that. There is no logical reason in this world that can explain two separate star rotations looking in only one direction, north, from say 37 degrees south latitude. None. Easily explained on the flat earth. Here's their ball. A blatant lie, because the magnetic field does not travel all the way around to the top. It does not cross this tropical zone. The magnetic field of our earth does not cross the tropics. It builds up in capacitance on either side. They have it drawn all the way around there. Total lie. Comes out of there and there to come in, well, it's not even that model, comes out of the south and the north to meet at their respective tropics and go straight through the earth and carry on through the earth to their opposite poles, if you want to call it that. You can't even call it that actually, because this is one pole and this is the other pole in there. No, sorry. That is one pole is the same pole that's in there. The opposite pole is here. They are both the south poles, Capricorn and Cancer. That's North Pole and this is North Pole. We'll get into that, the mirrored effect, okay? Magnetic north is offset. Okay, we'll get into this then. Now, they know in science that the magnetic north is offset to magnetic south. Therefore, there should be an Earth wobble every day with the imaginary stick. It's offset. How do they know the offset? Okay, it's a question. Because of the flat Earth mirror effect. They know the flat Earth design. They're just pulling one over your eyes. In the north, the sun moves around the black hole centre. Right in the centre above the Arctic, the sun, the actual pure plasma sun that we do not see up in here, outside of our realm, turns a small circle around the black hole centre of the gurgler, the vortex. Just as we see Polaris doing at night. Because Polaris is the sun. It's the nighttime rare image of the sun. The sun projects its rays this way. We see the sun, Polaris, rotating up above. Only at night. And the sun's facing the other direction. So, in the north, the sun moves around the black hole. This is mirrored in the south. Everything is mirrored from the northern hemisphere out to the south. We're going to get into that. Therefore, the sun is on the opposite side of the hole at all times. And that's where the magnetic field is. The convergent point is where the sun is. You get the sun here mirrored out all around here. So the magnetic field is strong out here, like they say, it's strong at the poles, strong out here, and it's strong in there. It's just part of the dual system, the split cell, the tropical gap split. Okay, let me just finish off what I've written here. Mirror in the south. Therefore, the sun is on the opposite side of the black hole at all times. Only the toroidal field of the flat Earth system, with its split cell design, can replicate a two-star rotation. And that is a parabolic southern image that is mirrored from the flat northern hemisphere. Night sky, star rotation. This experiment has been done and proves it all. Just understanding what a parabolic concave mirror can do is enough evidence. Okay, so come up here. Any knowledgeable astronomer knows the northern hemisphere sky is flat. We also know the southern sky curves down. 13,000 feet at 85 degrees south. And Mount Everest is 13,000 feet at 79 degrees south. We can fly above it. Americana Encyclopedia, 1958. They know the sky dips down. This is the southern hemisphere sky, dipping down. Nobody can get out here. Enoch said, if you find the ends of the earth and go there, you will surely die. Man cannot leave this perceived physical realm of ours. You can't get up, you can't get out. You can only go so high. Okay? So 13,000 feet. Their planes probably started hitting it or something. I'm sure a few of their military men died. Planes crashed out there. Okay? Now, realise Earth's face is like a clock. The sun we see is only the clock hand, not the real sun at the centre turning around the black hole. Not the mechanism that moves the clock arm. Okay? So the sun, we say, is just projected out from the centre. That explains everything. Time doesn't change from there to there. But don't consider it as one full picture. You've got to imagine, you've got to understand there's two. You've got the projection of the north sun coming out to the Tropic of Cancer. You have a projection of the sun coming out of the south to the Tropic of Capricorn. There is two systems. There is two suns. This is why we get a 24-hour sun in the south. I'm about to explain it all. But first, let's go back to the book of physics, known as the Bible, that no one can read, because it's all esoteric. People think they can read it and they have no idea. Pomegranate. Pomegranate represents the sun in the southern hemisphere at that time of the year, all the way around the south. It's infinite. Infinite light at a particular time. December. Fully illuminated. 24-hour sun. Does not go below the horizon. Okay, the pomegranates representing the sun. Because every man only sees one image of the sun, doesn't he? In his arc of horizon. He doesn't see light. Well, it's daylight. It's daylight all the way around there. But he'll only see one image because it's due to his pupils. And he has one brain, one set of eyes. You need two eyeballs, two hemispheres of your brain to see the sun, I think. Because the sun is a hermaphrodite. It's male and female. It's magnetic and magnetic induction. The pruning hooks. See the little hooks here? It's called a pruning hook. Described in the physics book called the Bible, the pruning hook. Then you have the ploughshare. Well, that's the ploughshare, the magnetic wave of the toroidal field that moves around the earth. The southern hemisphere revolves around the centre northern hemisphere over 24 hours. This northern hemisphere sends out a mirrored reflection into the south. Okay? The south is the rotor. The centre north is the stator. Okay? Let's move on to the next page. Here's the centre northern hemisphere. Centre north is right there in the Arctic centre. All the stars. Imperishable. Do not perish over the year. But some of these do. These do. Because they disappear as the season changes and this starts moving up here. This moves up there. That's why you lose these stars. They become an overlay and form the new constellations that come around at that time of the year. They double up. Okay? This is all written. All written and ignored. Hidden from you by the Freemasons. The southern hemisphere night sky or magnetic field. It has two motions. One around the northern hemisphere daily. The other is moving up into the northern hemisphere and back south again yearly. Moves up and it comes back. About to show you a little model. Understanding what the sun is doing over the earth. That company that Globebusters had, they even showed all this scientifically, how the sun does this over the year. Up and in for the northern hemisphere summer, down and out for the southern summer. Because the sun is only an image and it follows the flexing of the magnetic field of the earth. Because it's all about electromagnetism or magnetic induction or just plain magnetism. All starts with magnetism. And the magnetic induction is created because of the tropical split here. The southern hemisphere or the northern hemisphere, which is not correct analogy. It's a strong force and a weak force. Strong force, weak force. Strong force, weak force. But when it comes to poles, magnetism, that around here is the same as what's in the north. Check out an earlier video I did. I described it all, why I explained all that, why these two are the same, and these two here, either side of the tropics, are the same. That's the southern pole, south poles and north poles. We make all that energy within this gap here. Okay? What's created in this gap is magnified from what's created right back at creation. The center. The center, right in the center vortex of creation above the Arctic center. Okay? So now I'm going to show you the model and how that system works. Southern hemisphere is a 3:2 ratio. Not that man can see that. He cannot tell. He thinks they're just two the same. Okay? But at the end of the day, the fact is that is way bigger than this. Center north in here, there's the southern hemisphere. It turns all the way around. As this turns, it turns like this. And that moves all the way around. But there's an image everywhere in the south. It's mirrored out from the center north. Now this is how the sun works. When the southern field is right out here, the sun pops out and is illuminated all the way around the south. Okay? I better go back to that other picture. This point here. So I can draw all the pomegranates all the way around here, but in reality it's completely illuminated. It's all illuminated. So there's your southern summer right out there. But as the season changes, the southern field starts wandering up here, overlaying the northern hemisphere. Now you've got to concentrate on those lapping points just on the edges here as to where the sun is. This movement here is the movement of the sun within the ecliptic plane, the seasonal change. Declination over the year is just this little area here. Well, it goes right out here actually, right out there. Now this separation must go on for a while, but we do only see the sun fully out here for a couple of weeks, only for a few weeks. So it must only come out so and start going back quite quickly. But we do see this gap where Orion's belt is coming through for almost 9 months. You see Orion's belt, the only thing that's straight in the night sky. All the other stars are all rotating like this. But Orion's belt comes around here. But we see it over our arc of horizon appearing to go straight. Because we only see so far within our own personal arc of horizon. We can't see the mysteries, the magic that comes from magnetism. Okay, so understanding this, northern hemisphere, and the south goes under it. This is all described in the physics book called the Bible as well. Earthquakes, as in subduction, going down into a mente. Okay? The seasonal change. That's the flex. The seasonal change. In and out. Up and in, down and out. Up and in, down and out. So when it's right up here, the sun is 24-hour daylight up here. It doesn't go below the horizon. Okay? So this movement here is declination in the sun over the season. When it pops out, the magnetic field pops into the south. Now, there's a Ken Wheeler video. He shows us in magnetism where he's playing around with the magnets, and you see the field pop out and then move back up, and as he moves the magnet. It's like this. It blobs out and gets sucked back in. Like playing with jelly. So it's all there, folks. All described there. And so you can associate this with that. There's crazy videos at the moment. I put a message on Jaren's video. I said, I've told you how the F it works. Stop the BS. You can ignore me if you want, but that's the way it works. Can't be debunked. It's fact. I don't lie, and I know what I'm talking about. Okay? So as for this final experiment they're talking about, it's just a joke. There is 24-hour sun around the south. It's all out here for a few weeks, and going down there, it's not going to prove much, but if I had the opportunity, as I was travelling that way, I'd be watching the compass at all times. Make sure if you are going down there, somebody, one of you guys, take your northern hemisphere compass and a southern hemisphere compass. Get to know what I'm talking about, because that centre north is the same as there. But they flip the magnet for the southern hemisphere to make you think it's opposite. There is two hemisphere compasses. I even sussed it out. I found out, well, I actually knew before I went to Egypt, but I went to Egypt, had my compass from the southern hemisphere. I've got the compass here looking at which way the flipping pyramid's facing, and the guide there is telling us this is south, and I'm thinking, what are you talking about? I'm thinking, I was racking my brain thinking. So I didn't want to open my mouth, I didn't want to feel like an idiot. Because I thought I had something wrong, something's going on here. Maybe I missed what he was saying, but no. It wasn't until I got home I realised, oh shit, I had a southern hemisphere compass, so it's going to be the opposite, pointing the opposite. Okay, it just depends on where they put the arrow, the northern arrow. Or how it's balanced, because they balance them, don't they? So they'll rebalance it for a southern hemisphere, so you think it's south this way and north this way. No, it's the same. Same field there is the same field there. Except this is a weaker field, slightly weaker than up here. Okay, because it's more widely dispersed, the magnetic field. That's what the sundown lemma is all about. It's a lot bigger. Okay? So the two souths are right here. That's the south, that's dip. I'm sorry, there's dips at the pole, these two here. It rises, if you've got one of those compasses, a dip and an up. So it'll rise up in this area here. And they tell you the magnetic field is weakest in the tropics. There's no magnetic field in here. It's all built up on the sides here. Capricorn and Cancer. So you just get a direct field line, a direct compass setting, poking, pointing in both sides. But you're not following a curved path. No, not like out here or inside there. They're curved because that's the magnetic field. Okay, and why are they curved? Because everything spins out. Oh, here we go. I haven't talked about this. This is how the sun works. It comes out like this in the southern hemisphere. There's two cycles. One for the southern hemisphere, one for the northern hemisphere. This can be proved. It's more easily proved when you look at it in summer. It comes from this direction, the sun, southeast, and settles in southwest. Okay? But it's because it's all mirrored. Let's send the north up here. There. Here's the pomegranate. That's the cycle of our stars in the south, okay? And then you've got the cycle of the stars in the north. Just mirrored. So it's back to front. So the Southern Cross, you've got is the Big Dipper. Okay? And you'll see there's a Big Dipper and a Small Dipper. And you look in the Southern Cross, there's another false cross. Don't get them confused. Well, it's the same. They're mirrored. But you've got to realise that the turning, the opposing fields turning, gives them different shapes. They've got different shapes and positions all over the night. But that just proves the mirrored effect. I've described all that. I know what I'm talking about. But it's all being shadow banned and ignored. Because there's billions of dollars in lying to you, because they control the power system. Once you understand that the power, how Earth is generated, you just go and create your own power. So check out some of my other videos. You might want to get on Patreon and check out what I've got over there. if you're willing to support me. Otherwise, put likes up and share this video, because there's a lot of clowns out there who just don't understand how the flat earth works. Thanks for watching.